So now we're going to look at meeting the needs of stakeholders. I'm gonna go through these syllabus objectives on meeting the needs of stakeholders. Okay, they say we have to describe the main providers of benefits on contingent events, describe the main types of social security benefits and financial products, and explain how they can provide benefits on contingent events which meet the needs of clients and stakeholders. And then we have to explain we, we have to explain the main principles of insurance and pensions that impact on these benefits and products, and then describe the ways of analyzing the needs of clients and stakeholders to determine the appropriate benefits on contingent events to be provided by financial products. So this is meeting the needs of stakeholders. Right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hop on to ChatGPT and ask for a bit of context on these syllabus objectives before looking ahead on my notes. Right, so on to ChatGPT. I'm gonna say, hey, ChatGPT, please provide some content for these syllabus objectives. Right, for the actuarial risk management subject. Right, write in a way that is easier to understand for an actuarial graduate. Alright, so let's see what comes up. So this is a clear syllabus outlined content for the actuarial risk management subject, meeting the needs of stakeholders, written in a conceptual but accessible way. Right, so meeting the needs of stakeholders. In actuarial risk management, many financial products exist to provide benefits when contingent events occur. A contingent event is an uncertain future event that may or may not happen, such as death, disability, retirement, or unemployment or illness, right? So, actuaries help design and assess systems that ensure that benefits are provided fairly, efficiently, and sustainably when these events occur, while balancing the needs of different stakeholders. So the main providers of benefits on contingent events, the benefits on contingent events are provided by a combination of public, private, and informal systems. Number one, we have the government or the state. The government provides benefits mainly through social security systems funded by taxes or compulsory contributions. Their role is to provide basic protection, especially for vulnerable groups and those who are unable to access private markets. Examples of government provided benefits include old age pensions, disability grants, unemployment benefits, healthcare services. And then number two, we have employers. Employers often provide benefits as part of employment packages, either directly or via insurance arrangements. Some examples include employer-sponsored pension or provident funds, group insurance, group life insurance, disability income benefits, medical aid subsidies. Those are some of the examples of employer provided benefits. And then number 3, we have insurance companies. Insurers pool risk and provide benefits in return for premiums. They play a key role in transferring individual risk to a collective pool, right? Examples include life insurance, disability insurance, health insurance, and funeral policies. Number 4, we have pension and retirement fund providers. So these institutions manage long-term savings and provide income or lump sums on retirement, death, or disability. Examples include pension funds, provident funds, or retirement annuities. And then there's individuals and families. Some risk is managed informally through personal savings, family support, community or burial societies, which are often insufficient on their own, but they do complement the formal systems, right? And then that is on objective number 1, where we said we were looking at the main providers of benefits on contingent events. Number 1, we have the government or the state. Number 2, we have employers. Number 3, we have insurance companies. Number 4, pension funds, pension and retirement fund providers. And then lastly, we had individuals and families. Those are some of the providers of benefits on contingent events. And then moving on to the second objective, where it says social security benefits and financial products for contingent events. So on the notes, it says we have to describe the main types of social security benefits and financial products. We have to describe the main types of social security benefits. I think when I hear the word social security, I'm thinking the government is involved. So we have to describe the main types of social security benefits and financial products and explain how they can provide benefits on contingent events which meet the needs of clients and stakeholders. So now back to ChatGPT, looking at this objective of social security benefits and financial products for contingent events, it says social security aims to ensure minimum living standards, not full income replacement. So the key types of social security benefits include old age benefits, which is income to support old people in retirement; disability benefits, which is income or grants when someone is not able to work; survivor benefits, which is to support dependents after the death of a breadwinner or a primary caregiver; and then unemployment benefits, that is just temporary income during job losses; healthcare benefits, that is for access to medical treatment. And then the characteristics of these social security benefits is that they are often means tested or contribution based, right? And then they have broad risk pooling. They focus on adequacy and social equity. And then the financial products that provide additional or alternative protection usually are tailored to individual needs. So the key products here include life insurance, which pays on death; disability income insurance, which pays while someone is not able to work; critical illness insurance, which pays a benefit on diagnosis of a specified condition; medical insurance, which covers healthcare costs; pensions and retirement products, which provide income or capital at retirement, right? So how do these meet stakeholder needs, right? So they replace income, they protect dependence, smooth consumption over time, reduce financial uncertainty, and they allow choice and flexibility. That is the second syllabus objective. And then the third syllabus objective, if I read from the notes, it says we have to explain the main principles of insurance and pensions that impact on these benefits and products. Explain the main principles of insurance and pensions that impact on these benefits and products. So back onto ChatGPT, looking at this syllabus objectives, principles of insurance and pensions affecting these benefits. These are the insurance principles: risk pooling, insurable interest, utmost good faith, risk classification, moral hazard, and adverse selection. So risk pooling, this is the risk pooling. Under risk pooling, we have that many individuals contribute premiums, and then losses of the few of the individuals are paid from the pool, right? This reduces uncertainty for each individual, right? And then insurable interest means that the policyholder must suffer some financial loss if the contingent event occurs. And then we have to also prevent moral hazards. Utmost good faith, both the insurer and the policyholder must disclose relevant information. This affects pricing and claims. And then risk classification, the premiums reflect risk characteristics such as age, health, occupation. This improves fairness and sustainability. And then moral hazard and adverse selection, the behavior may change after insurance is purchased. High-risk individuals are more likely to buy insurance. Products and underwriting aim to control these risks. Those are the insurance principles. Pension principles have long-term nature, funding and sustainability, risk sharing, preservation and adequacy, governance and regulation. So, long-term nature, the contributions and benefits may be decades apart. Investment and inflation risk are crucial. Funding and sustainability, contributions must be sufficient to meet future benefits. Actuarial valuations assess adequacy. Risk sharing, risk may be borne by the employer for defined benefits or by the member for defined contributions, or it can be shared. And then preservation and adequacy. This encourages saving until retirement, ensuring benefits provide sufficient income. Governance and regulation protect members' interest, ensure fairness between generations. And then now on to the fourth and the last syllabus objective for meeting the stakeholder needs. Reading from the notes, it says we have to describe the ways of analyzing the needs of clients and stakeholders. Describe the ways of analyzing the needs of clients and stakeholders to determine the appropriate benefits on contingent events to be provided by the financial products. Now, back onto ChatGPT, analyzing the needs of clients and stakeholders. So, actuaries analyze needs systematically to determine appropriate benefits and product design. The key stakeholders here include individuals, which are policyholders or members, dependents and beneficiaries, employers, government, insurers, and fund managers, and the society as a whole. So those are some of the key stakeholders. If we recap from giving actuarial advice, we said that when giving actuarial advice, not only do we consider the interest or the need of the individual client who seeks advice, but we consider the interest of other stakeholders who may be affected by that actuarial advice given, so that we take an independent and professional approach to giving the advice. So now these are the key stakeholders when analyzing the needs of clients, analyzing the needs of the clients and the stakeholders for the purposes of meeting their needs by financial products. So now These are the steps in analyzing the needs. We have to identify the contingent event. For example, what risk exists? Is it death? Is it disability, longevity, illness, or unemployment? And then we have to assess the financial impact. Loss of income, additional expenses, duration of impact, right? Excuse me. And then understand stakeholder objectives, adequacy of benefits, affordability of contributions, certainty versus flexibility, equity between groups. And then we have to consider the constraints, budget and affordability, regulation and tax. Those are the constraints, market availability, and behavioral factors. And then the fifth step is that we have to evaluate existing coverage, social security entitlements, employer benefits, personal savings or insurance. Design appropriate benefits. That's the last step on analyzing the needs. Design the appropriate benefits. So look at the level of benefit, the timing, lump sum versus income, conditions for payment, risk sharing structure. So the actuarial judgment here is that there is no one size fits all solution. Actuaries balance protection versus cost, individual fairness versus social pooling, short-term affordability versus long-term sustainability. So the big picture takeaway is that meeting stakeholder needs means that understanding what can go wrong, identifying who is affected, designing systems that provide adequate, affordable, and sustainable benefits, and applying insurance and pension principles to manage uncertainty responsibly, right? So I think I think it was in a sort of like summary bullet point list format. I would prompt ChatGPT now to give us a more holistic explanation of those syllabus objectives. I'm gonna say, hey, please explain in paragraph format, no bullet points, no list, just flowing paragraphs. And then I'm gonna say give practical examples in a South African context, in a South African actuarial context. To aid understanding. To aid understanding. Okay. All right. So here's our response. In actuarial risk management, meeting the needs of stakeholders involves ensuring that people and institutions are financially protected when uncertain or In actuarial risk management, meeting the needs of stakeholders involves ensuring that people and institutions are financially protected when uncertain or contingent events occur. Contingent events such as death, disability, illness, unemployment, or retirement. So in a South African context, these risks are particularly important because income inequality, unemployment, and limited personal savings means that many people are highly vulnerable to financial shocks. So actuaries therefore play a key role in understanding who provides benefits in these situations, how those benefits are structured, and whether they are adequate, affordable, and sustainable for all stakeholders involved. So now, the benefits on contingent events in South Africa are provided through a combination of state, employer, and private sector arrangements. The government is a major provider through the social security system, particularly for low income and unemployed individuals who are unable to access private financial products. Examples include the old age grant, disability grant, child support grant, and unemployment insurance fund, the UIF benefits. So these benefits are typically designed to provide a basic level of income support rather than the full income replacement. Replacement. These benefits are designed to provide the basics, the basic level of income support rather than full income replacement. So employers are also providers of benefits as part of employment packages. Employers also provide benefits, especially in the formal sector, by offering retirement funds, group life insurance, and disability cover as part of employment packages. In addition, insurance companies and retirement fund administrators provide individual and group products such as life policies, funeral cover, medical schemes, and retirement annuities. For many households, informal arrangements such as stokvels and burial societies also play an important role, particularly in covering funeral costs, which are a significant financial burden in South Africa. Social security benefits and financial products are both used to provide protection against contingent events. Social security benefits and financial products. Social security benefits, I think that's the government part. The financial products, that's the private sector part, the insurance companies and employers. Social security benefits and financial products are both used to provide protection against contingent events, but they serve different purposes and populations. Social security in South Africa focuses on social protection and poverty alleviation, ensuring that vulnerable individuals have access to minimum income or services when adverse events occur, right? So, for example, the old age grant provides a stable source of income to elderly people who may not have accumulated sufficient retirement savings, while the UIF, the Unemployment Insurance Fund, provides temporary income to workers who lose their jobs. Financial products, on the other hand, are typically designed to provide higher and more tailored level. Financial products, on the other hand, are typically designed to provide higher and more tailored levels of protection, often linked to an individual's previous income or specific needs. For example, a salaried professional may rely on retirement annuity to supplement future retirement income, a life insurance policy to protect dependents in the event of premature death, and a disability income policy to replace earnings if they become unable to work. So together with social security and private financial products, social security, excuse me. So together, social security and private financial products form a layered system of protection, with with the state providing safety net and private markets offering additional coverage. The design and effectiveness of these benefits are strongly influenced by core principles of insurance and pensions. Insurance relies on risk pooling, where many policyholders contribute premiums so that the losses of a few can be paid, which is particularly important in South Africa given the high uncertainty around health outcomes and mortality across different population groups. Insurers use risk classifications such as old age, health status, and occupation to set premiums that reflect underlying risk, while regulation limits unfair discrimination. So, principles such as insurable interest and utmost good faith help ensure that insurance is used for genuine protection rather than speculation. In pension arrangements, long term funding and investment principles are critical because contributions made today must support benefits years in the future. South African retirement funds must manage investment risk, inflation risk, and longevity risk, especially as people live longer than originally expected. Defined contribution funds, which dominate the South African system, place of the risk on individual members. Defined contribution funds, which dominate the South African system, place much of this risk on individual members, making contribution adequacy and preservation especially important actuarial concerns. Okay. To determine appropriate benefits on contingent events, actuaries analyze the needs of clients and stakeholders in a structured and practical way. This begins with understanding the specific risk faced by individuals or groups, such as the risk of early death for a young family with dependents or longevity risk for retirees who may outlive their savings. The financial consequences of these risks are then assessed, including loss of income, increased medical expenses, or the need to support dependents. In a South African setting, this analysis must also consider existing social security benefits since the state support may reduce but not eliminate financial need. Since the state support may reduce but not eliminate financial need. For example, while a disability grant may provide some income, it is often insufficient to maintain a middle-income household standard of living, creating a clear need for private disability insurance. Actuaries also consider affordability, regulatory constraints, tax treatment, and behavioral factors, such as the tendency for individuals to undersave for retirement. So, by balancing these factors, actuaries help design benefit structures and financial products that meet stakeholder needs in a way that is fair, practical, and sustainable over time. Right? So, that is the explanation given by ChatGPT on those syllabus objectives. So yeah, let me break it here and then go back to my notes